"Let's hope it lasts," said the Brigadier gloomily. It didn't. No sooner were the words out of his mouth than there came the sound of two angry voices from the outer office. Both were female, and the first was that of the unit corporal who acted as the Brigadier's secretary and receptionist. "I'm sorry you can't go in. The Brigadier is very busy." The second voice spoke perfect textbook English, with the unmistakable speech rhythms of the Orient. "And I tell you that the matter is most urgent. I must see the Brigadier immediately. Out of my way." The Brigadier drew a deep breath, expanding his lungs for a reprimanding bellow. But before he could get the words out of his mouth, a small, grey-uniformed and very angry Chinese girl marched briskly into his office, closely followed by an indignant Corporal Bell. The Brigadier let out his breath in a long sigh. "All right, Corporal Bell." He looked at the Chinese girl who was standing in front of his desk, quivering with anger. "Yes, Captain, what can I do for you?" It occurred to Mike Yates, as he brought forward a chair, that in her off-duty moments, if she ever had any, Captain Chin Li of the Chinese People's Army would be a remarkably attractive girl. She was still in her mid-20s, and the high cheekboned face with its huge dark eyes was undeniably beautiful. But the face was marred by an almost permanent scowl of angry indignation. Ignoring the chair, the girl stood stiffly at attention. "Brigadier, an outrage has been committed against the Chinese People's Delegation. As you are in charge of the security arrangements, I hold you directly responsible." It was the accusing tone that was so objectionable, decided the Brigadier, that and the almost hysterical assumption that every delay, difficulty or setback, any least thing that displeased the touchy Chinese delegation, was the result of a carefully planned Western imperialist conspiracy. "What is it now, Captain Chin Li?" "Important state documents have been stolen from General Cheng Taik's suite." "That's impossible," said Mike Yates immediately. "There's a 24-hour guard on all the delegate suites." "Nevertheless, the theft has occurred. Your guards are inefficient. Probably they take bribes." "That is an insulting suggestion." The Brigadier spoke with such fury that even Chin Li looked alarmed. With an effort he controlled himself. "Very well, Captain. Leave it with me. We shall look into the matter immediately. I must warn you, Brigadier, that this incident puts the success of this peace conference in grave jeopardy. We suspect the American imperialists of this crime." "Naturally," said the Brigadier dryly. His voice hardened. "I assure you that every effort will be made to locate the missing papers and to find and punish whoever is responsible. If there is any further trouble, our delegation will withdraw from this conference." With this parting shot, Captain Chin Li turned and marched out of the office. Gloomily, the Brigadier watched her go. "More trouble." Said Mike Yates thoughtfully. "Pity. She's quite a dolly." Catching the Brigadier's eye, Mike returned hurriedly to his duties. Filled with a virtuous glow that came from the knowledge of having done her duty, Captain Chin Li strode out of Unit HQ and stood for a moment on the steps, looking out at the pleasant London square. Children were playing in the garden in the centre. The sounds of their laughter drifted across to her. Suddenly she became aware that there was something else she had to do. Something else. Her official limousine was parked outside the building, and the chauffeur leaped forward to open the door for her. Blank-faced, Chin Li walked straight past him, crossed the road and walked through the little garden. At a secluded spot on the far side, she paused beside a wire litter bin and took a sheaf of important-looking papers from inside her tunic. The papers bore the seal of the Chinese delegation. Producing a big, old-fashioned cigarette lighter from her tunic pocket,